Beyond inclusion, why building our own tables will define the next era of Black economic power. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm truly honored to stand before you to share some extraordinary insights I gained from my recent interview with Becky Drummond for the Pink Parachute Diaries podcast. Becky isn't just documenting Black entrepreneurship, she's revolutionizing how we understand economic empowerment in our communities. Her work has created a digital sanctuary where Black women's professional journeys aren't just acknowledged, but celebrated with the reverence they deserve. Through her tireless dedication to amplifying voices that have been systematically silenced, Becky has transformed countless lives and challenged the very foundations of how we conceptualize success in America. What I'm about to share with you today challenges a fundamental assumption that has guided much of our thinking about professional advancement and economic mobility for generations. For decades, we've operated under the belief that the path to success for Black professionals lies primarily in climbing corporate ladders, securing positions within established institutions, and fighting for seats at tables built by others. But what if that assumption is fundamentally, catastrophically flawed? What if the most sustainable path forward isn't fighting harder for inclusion in systems that weren't designed for us, but rather building our own systems entirely? This is the radical counterintuitive idea I want to explore with you today. In an era of diminishing institutional support, the greatest opportunity for Black economic advancement may not be in seeking better inclusion, but in creating independent, community built infrastructure that renders traditional gatekeepers irrelevant. When I interviewed Becky for the Pink Parachute Diaries, she revealed research that exposed a striking contradiction in our current landscape. On one hand, we're witnessing innovative initiatives like Charlotte's new Innovation Center, specifically designed to support Black businesses. On the other hand, we're simultaneously seeing Black women losing jobs at disproportionate rates as DEI initiatives are dismantled across the country. This contradiction isn't just concerning, it's telling us something profound about where we are and where we need to go. Let me share some sobering statistics that Becky highlighted. Black women professionals faced devastating employment challenges in early 2025, losing 38,000 jobs in April alone. Their unemployment rate jumped from 5.1% to 6.1% in a single month. At the federal level, Black women experienced a 33% workforce decline compared to just 3.7% across the overall workforce. These aren't just numbers. These are mothers, sisters, daughters, and community leaders whose economic security was shattered overnight. These are women who did everything right. They earned degrees, built careers, played by the rules, only to discover that the system was never designed to protect them. Economists like William Michael Cunningham and Andre M. Perry have identified this trend as demonstrably damaging to the Black community and something we have not seen before, highlighting the unprecedented nature of these employment challenges. Now, conventional wisdom would suggest that the solution is to fight harder for inclusion, to demand more seats at existing tables, to push for stronger DEI initiatives. And there's certainly value in that approach. But I want you to consider something radical. What if, instead of exhausting ourselves fighting for access to institutions that consistently demonstrate they don't value our contributions, we invested that same energy into building our own tables? This isn't theoretical. It's happening right now in Charlotte, North Carolina, where Black business leaders are creating their own support ecosystem rather than waiting for external help. The Innovation Center in Charlotte represents the city's first hub specifically designed for Black owned businesses and professionals. Located at 2601 Wilkinson Boulevard near Interstate 77, this center is poised to transform how Black entrepreneurs access resources, networks, and opportunities. Kathy Dawkins, an entrepreneur and chairman of the Charlotte Mecklenburg Black Chamber of Commerce, led this initiative after visiting similar establishments in Atlanta, Washington, D.C., and Durham. He and other chamber members recognized the gap in Charlotte's business infrastructure and took decisive action. They invested $30,000 to purchase the building and are now raising $3.7 million for renovations. What makes this approach revolutionary is its comprehensive nature. This isn't just a co working space or an incubator, it's a holistic ecosystem designed to address multiple community needs simultaneously. The center will include co working spaces, a retail store, distribution center, event space, food hall, conference space, greenhouse, outdoor seating plaza, and business mailroom. Think about that for a moment. This isn't just about creating businesses, it's about creating the infrastructure that supports businesses. It's about building an entire economic ecosystem that can thrive independently of traditional institutions. Once completed, the Innovation Center will address both economic growth and food disparity in the community while providing Black entrepreneurs with essential resources to scale their businesses. It will create what Dawkins describes as a safe space for business owners and professionals to come get elevated. This model of community built infrastructure represents a fundamental shift in how we approach economic empowerment. Rather than focusing exclusively on gaining access to existing systems, this approach creates entirely new systems designed specifically to meet our needs. As Maya Angelou wisely said, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. The Charlotte Innovation Center embodies this philosophy. It represents a community rising from the defeat of diminishing institutional support to create something more powerful and sustainable. But building our own tables isn't just about physical infrastructure. It's also about developing the mindsets, strategies, and approaches that enable us to thrive independently. During my interview with Becky, she shared the story of an entrepreneur named Louisa Joe, who built her coaching business from zero to $1.1 million in sales in less than a year. While Joe isn't explicitly identified as Black, her approach offers valuable lessons for Black entrepreneurs facing similar challenges. Joe developed a methodical approach to business growth, focusing on building a foundation and then scaling what worked rather than constantly reinventing her approach. She built her first online coaching business to six figures while working full time, then transitioned to full time entrepreneurship, where she scaled even more dramatically. After reaching nearly $300,000 in sales in her first year, she set an audacious goal of $1 million launch and achieved it by optimizing her existing strategies rather than creating entirely new ones. Beyond her personal success, Joe has helped three 500 plus clients through coaching programs and digital courses to build their own businesses, demonstrating the multiplier effect of successful entrepreneurship. Her case demonstrates that entrepreneurial success doesn't require the perfect idea, a huge audience, or quitting your job first. An important message for Black professionals considering business ownership, especially in light of the employment challenges many are facing. This brings me to the second key insight from my conversation with Becky. Economic resilience requires diversification. The top industries for Black entrepreneurs in 2023 to 2024 include real estate, professional services, manufacturing, food and beverage, and transportation warehousing. This diversification across sectors suggests Black business owners are strategically positioning themselves across various industries rather than concentrating in just one area. This diversification isn't just smart business strategy, it's a form of community protection. By establishing footholds across multiple industries, Black entrepreneurs create a more resilient economic ecosystem that can withstand downturns in any single sector. The third key insight from my interview with Becky is perhaps the most challenging. Self reliance is becoming necessary. With Black women's unemployment rising significantly and federal DEI initiatives being rolled back, the message is clear. Black professionals must build their own support networks and business infrastructure. The Charlotte Chamber's approach of investing $30,000 to purchase a building and seeking $3.7 million in capital demonstrates this shift toward community funded development. This isn't just about creating businesses, it's about creating the infrastructure that support businesses. Now, I want to be clear about something. Advocating for self reliance and community built infrastructure doesn't mean abandoning the fight for equity and inclusion in existing institutions. That work remains vitally important. What I'm suggesting is that we need to pursue both strategies simultaneously, fighting for seats at existing tables while building our own tables. As Audre Lorde powerfully stated, for the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They may allow us temporarily to beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change. Building our own infrastructure is about creating genuine, sustainable change that isn't dependent on the goodwill or policies of institutions that have historically excluded us. So, what does this mean for you personally? How can you participate in this self reliant revolution? First, consider how you might contribute to building community infrastructure. This doesn't necessarily mean launching a multi-million dollar development project like the Charlotte Innovation Center. It could be as simple as creating a monthly meetup for Black professionals in your industry, establishing a mentorship program, or investing in Black owned businesses. Second, diversify your own economic activities. Whether you're an entrepreneur or a professional, look for ways to develop multiple income streams across different sectors. This might mean starting a side business, investing in real estate, or developing marketable skills in growing industries. Third, connect with and support existing community built in infrastructure. Seek out Black owned co working spaces, business incubators, and professional networks. Your participation strengthens these ecosystems and expands their impact. Fourth, share your knowledge and resources. If you've achieved success in your field, find ways to mentor others, invest in promising ventures, or share valuable connections. The multiplier effect of successful Black entrepreneurs and professionals supporting others creates exponential growth. Finally, maintain hope and vision. Building our own tables isn't just a response to exclusion, it's an affirmation of our capacity to create systems that better serve our needs and reflect our values. I want to leave you with this thought. The world is changing rapidly, and those who wait for permission to succeed will be left behind. The institutions we fought so hard to access are themselves becoming obsolete in many ways. By building our own infrastructure now, we're not just creating alternatives to existing systems, we're pioneering the economic models of the future. This isn't just about survival. This is about creating a new paradigm where Black economic power isn't dependent on anyone's approval or permission. This is about building something so undeniably valuable that the world has no choice but to engage with it on our terms. Remember the words of Shirley Chisholm. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Today, I'm challenging you to take that wisdom one step further. Don't just bring a chair, build a better table, one that reflects your values, serves your community, and creates prosperity for generations to come. The question isn't whether you have the power to build something transformative. The question is, what will you build and who will you invite to your table? Thank you.